IDontWorkHereLady, Episode 6. I'm not a nun, but I will pray for you. I'm religious, and I dress more modestly than I used to, wearing long dresses, and I do wear a head covering and a cross and my miraculous medal. So in some way I can sort of sympathize if anyone mistaken me for someone who belonged in a monastery. Anyways, I was at my local food store picking up some feminine hygiene products and cans of soups that was cheap because I'm sick and not feeling well. An amp, #X200B. I heard a "excuse me" from a woman about in her 40s. I responded, yes, and she says, sister, please pray for my family. An amp, #X200B. I apologized that I wasn't a nun but would indeed pray for her. An amp, #X200B. She said thank you but then said I shouldn't be dressing so modestly if I don't want to be mistaken as a sister and got a bit rude. An amp, #X200B. I think that is going to be the end of it. Then she looks at my shopping cart and says, are you sure you're not a nun? You're buying a lot of cheap off-brand items. An amp, #X200B. I just tell her that I like the brand of soup and I'm a bit frugal. An amp, #X200B. She then gets upset and tells me I should be buying fancier food items and leave the cheap stuff to poor people. An amp, #X200B. I replied I wasn't rich but would pray that she isn't so rude to people and for her family like she asked earlier. An amp, #X200B. Never seen her after that, but I can say that is the first and hopefully last time I get mistaken as a nun. I do, sort of, but not like old boy thinks. Never thought I'd have anything to post here, but I do. This one happened 2 nights ago. For a bit of background, I work part-time from home taking restaurant call-in orders for a particular Asian restaurant chain. I'm not affiliated with the restaurant in any manner other than my employer is contracted by the restaurant to take orders so that the restaurant staff aren't stuck on the phone all night. Some folks understand this, others don't. My particular jackwagon did not. On to the story. I answer the phone with my typical, thank you for calling my restaurant line. Before I can even finish, dude barks out, I'm going to give you one chance to fix this or I'm gonna get the authorities involved. With that kind of intro, it doesn't take a genius to know this one was going south. He then proceeds to demand that I tell him what his last order was. Understand, I am there to take orders. I cannot change orders, cancel orders, or even take large party type or catering orders. I only take orders from folks wanting to not have to cook dinner that night. This means I have no reason to have access to previous orders. I can't even see if a person made a previous order. The only way I know they have is because when the caller ID system reads their phone number, it also populates the name if they have called before. This boy's name was there. That's the extent of my knowledge of his previous transactions. I explained that I was not in on site and therefore had no access to his order, but that I could transfer his call into the store and he could speak with someone that could possibly help him. Oh, no, instead I'm full of bullshit and just don't want to do anything to fix the fucking mess you guys have made. Now, I have been in his shoes before. I get the frustration. However, refusing to listen to or believe a word the other person is saying wouldn't get my problem resolved. I'm sure you guys know, it didn't get his resolved either. He proceeds again to bark about having his bank statement in his hand and demand that I tell him what he ordered. Again, I tell him I cannot help him with that. He cussed me again and says, what can you do, then? I just told you, sir. I can transfer you to the store where perhaps they can look up your order and do something to correct this situation. Keep in mind here that this guy never actually told me what was wrong. He just kept demanding his previous order be read to him and that he had his bank statement in his hand. I assume he was overcharged in some manner but really have no way to know. He barks and moans some more about how nobody is helping him and this is the worst customer service he has ever received in his life, all littered with colorful curse words that sometimes fit and sometimes did not. Again, I did not immediately hang up, cursing or not, because if I can help, I'm going to let them vent a little and do what I can to help. After about 3 minutes of this dude's refusal to believe that I wasn't part of an Asian food conspiracy, he then began to verbally attack me personally. He asked what I was even there for, and I again told him, I am the order line, sir. I can take food orders. For your problem, I would need to transfer you to the store. Bullshit. You're just a lying piece of shit. Such a worthless piece of shit. I've had it. I'm getting the authorities involved. You'll be hearing from the police. At this point I simply said, have a good night, sir, and reached to hang up. He beat me to it by a second. I held my tongue and tried to keep it professional, but I so wanted to say, look, asshole, call whoever you want, I do not care. You're in Arizona. I'm in Oklahoma. Unless you can convince the FBI that your egg roll was that important, I highly doubt I'll be hearing from anyone about this. I just don't understand people. I'm off today. This happened close to 25 years ago, and it doesn't involve a lady. My grandparents owned a place and my dad managed it. I usually worked weekends and after school during the year. It was a small shop, so I knew everyone who worked there well. Especially the weekend crew. But one Saturday I requested off for something or other. The phone rings at 8 a.m. Let's say my name is George. George, why aren't you at work? I'm taking the day off. We need you down here, we're slammed. I got shit to do. Dude, get down here. Fuck off, I quit. Click. I lay there for a bit in bed. That didn't sound like anyone I know. The noises in the background, it sounded like a tire shop. We're not a tire shop. I call my job, there's only 2 people it could have been. Hey, did one of you fuckers call me? Pause, phone to chest, anyone call George? Nope, no one called, fuck off. I'm not pissed, I explained what happened. Holy shit, you just got that dude fired. Apparently, as fate would have it, some random George's boss called the wrong number and got a George. And this George thought it was a prank. But I think a random George got fired. This was before caller ID. Hope George made it okay. Confused for an amusement park groundskeeper. This happened to me when I was on leave from the military and visiting a local amusement park with my girlfriend at the time. I was wearing a green polo, which was apparently the uniform for groundskeepers that year, but mine was a Lacoste, while theirs had the logo of the amusement park. Anyway, my girlfriend wanted to go on a ride that was too intimidating for me to go on, so I was waiting by the exit. There was this woman who came up to me, dropped her soda cup, and tried walking away. So I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, please pick up your cup, you're a groundskeeper, you pick it up." While I was wearing a similar shirt, I was wearing blue jeans while groundskeeper wear black slacks. "No, I don't, ma'am, please pick up your cup, it's rude to litter." She went off on me. "How dare you say that, in going to go get your manager, yeah, my chief in South Carolina, so good luck with that, what? Trying to shirk your duties just because your manager is on vacation, that is despicable, yada yada yada." Her husband with their toddler came up behind her. He was in uniform USAF, an airman. He was trying to calm her down, but I interrupted her. "Airman, please tell your wife I don't work here," I asked while showing my CAC to him. "She is making a scene and I don't think your chain of command would like that." He turned pale, picked up her cup, and ushered her away. Funny thing is, I barely outranked him, and even if I reported him it probably wouldn't have went anywhere. Earlier this morning, backstory, Monday I received surgery to have a port catheter put in for my infusions that I receive weekly. I was given a pain prescription that I wasn't able to fill until this morning around 9 a.m. Up until last night I was tolerating the pain by taking a leave. But around 9 p.m. the pain was too intense to ignore anymore. So I went first to my local The nurse there said that they are not allowed to do anything since I did not have the surgery there at that hospital since the surgeon was not affiliated with the hospital. So my husband drive me to the hospital that I did have the surgery performed at, and they admittedly took me in to see what was wrong. Come to find out that I am allergic to the transparent Tegaderm film that the surgeon put on the bandage to hold it in place. The nurse re-bandaged my surgical wound and suggested items to purchase at the local Walmart to keep the wound dry and debris-free. Body. After being discharged, my husband drove us to the Walmart so I can purchase the items the nurse suggested. After getting the NexCare gentle paper tape, non-stick pads, Equate allergy relief, and ibuprofen tablets, I was asked outright by someone that I never meet before, where something was. At this point in time I was hurting and itching so much, I would admit I was very freaking rude to this person. Conversation. Dumbfounded man, can you help me find the box fans? Me, I'm sorry I do not work here. Dumbfounded man, what is your name? Me, weirded out, cuckoo flowers, why do you need to know that? Dumbfounded man, no reason, can you help me find the box fans? Me, I already told you I do not work here. Dumbfounded man, I really need help finding the box fans. I know you in fact work here. You are clearly wearing a blue shirt and tan pants. I am wearing a blue cami and tan capris. And a hospital or bracelet on my right wrist. My new bandage plainly on the left side of my chest. With pain and irritation on my face. Me, really? I don't work here and fuck off. By that point my husband walks around the corner and saves me from the dumbfounded man. Husband, ready to go home? Cuckoo flowers, you must be hurting really bad, your forehead is sweating. Me, let's go. Since the pharmacy is closed I will get the prescription filled at Walgreens, I don't feel good. Sorry it wasn't a flashy IDWHL moment, but I am finally not feeling any harsh pain, just a dull ache. Edit. To the ones that are wondering where I actually work at, the answer is at a Tyson Foods processing factory. The people that are in HR are wonderful and understanding, as well as my own supervisors and line leads. They all have been very supportive after I found out about my genetic disorder that I have. Second edit. The reason for the port catheter, https://www.reddit.com/r/as-bzqn9b/my_story/question_udom_source equals share and amp _medium equals ios_app closing parenthesis. Woman mistakes me for a Hot Topic employee to ask an interesting question about a shirt. A couple of weeks ago, I decide to venture into my local Hot Topic, to look for a t-shirt. Now, I normally stick out in a store like that, because I don't seem like the type of person to shop there. I wear pastel pink dresses and hair bows. In any case, I was comparing t-shirts near the back of the store when a teenage girl and her mother wander in and start looking at the band shirts as well. The girl was looking for a Billie Eilish shirt, but apparently her mom was not having it. That girl looks evil, the mom said, pointing at the shirt. Mom, she's not evil, the girl explained, she's just trying to get herself out there. Then, the girl whispered to her mom, I wonder if that girl works here. She'll probably tell you. So, the mom turns to me and gestures to the Billie Eilish shirt and asks, is she evil? Not really being a good judge of the evilness of most musicians, I shrug and say, I'm not sure, ma'am. I don't work here. The cashier and I had a good laugh about it after the two left. I found a carol. First post and on mobile. For those of you that don't know, a carol is the opposite of a Karen. So just a few hours ago I had to go to the grocery store to pick a few things up. While in the store, a lady comes up to and simply asks if I work there. I said no, but that I might be able to help. I guided her to the aisle she needed and went on my way. Sorry if my story isn't juicy enough for some of you, but I think that kindness should be shared. Lady asked me if she can park here. This happened a couple years ago and I still think about it. I will be me and lady will be L. I was walking out of a busy, local teatra coffee shop per bar. They don't play box office movies, but still play new movies. Mostly geared towards senior citizens to enjoy a good movie that suits their taste, but people of all ages come here. As I was walking out, some lady and her husband pull up right in front of the movie theater, where there is a valet if you want to pay $5 for it, and park in between the handicap spot and a no parking zone, like not even pull up all the way in the handicap spot. So the no parking zone is there because there is a sidewalk there for normal people to cross that part of the street if you didn't valet or are handicap. So this is what happened as I was walking out. L parks her Jaguar without handicap tags. Can I park here? Me, knowing full well she can't because it says you can't on the floor. I don't work here. L getting an attitude with me. You don't have to work here to tell me if I can park here. Me, I don't respond and keep walking. L hey, I am talking to you. Me, I keep walking. Witness to IDWHL event. I have been shuttling between two larger cities in my state about 120 miles apart. I cover the whole state for work, and recently, we have been hosting my mother as she is almost 80 and keeps falling and breaking bones. She's at my house 5 or 6 days, then I take her home for doctor's appointment, hence the 2-hour trips. An amp, #X200B. There is a Giant Eagle supermarket near her house that I stop at every day for her and me. Yesterday, I had some iced tea and was going through the self-serve, and the lady at the terminal next to me got the "please wait for employee assistance" screen and announcement of death. She happened to be using a terminal I was at the previous day that kept asking for a phantom item to be removed from bagging that was never put there. She was getting the same error. I purchased my 3 items and turned to leave and saw the exit blocked. I saw someone clearing baskets, etc., so I stood patiently and talked with others waiting to leave. The woman was putting the handheld carry baskets away and pushed some items to the side. She turned and faced toward me and the lady waiting for help. The lady waiting for help asked her if she could clear her screen so she could pay, and the other woman said, "Sorry, I don't work here, I was just moving these baskets out of the way because I couldn't get to my husband and the other people couldn't get to the exit." She was chuckling as she walked up to her husband at a terminal behind us saying, "IDWHL, and amp, #X200B. She had moved the items on the floor, keeping us stuck there because the carts couldn't get through. By this time she was standing next to her husband, and the lady next to me apologized and went back to scanning the horizon for an employee to help her. I said loud enough for everyone to hear, "This will be my first IDWHL post." The 2 ladies in this story laughed but no one else did, but it was cool that the 2 involved knew what I was talking about. Also, the lady with the locked terminal got the IDWHL before I did, but I would have thanked her for clearing a path for me to leave and would surely have received one too.